Hello there, welcome back to the Chap's Guide. My name is Ash and I am your host on this journey through men's style, self-development and personal grooming. Now today I want to talk to you about a shoe brand which, if what I've read in the paper is to be true, may be in danger of leaving us forever. And if it does, it will leave a glaring hole in the world of men's dress shoes. And the brand is Trickers. Now, Trickers is quite an important brand, not just because it makes exceptional quality shoes in Northamptonshire in England, but because it claims to be the oldest established shoe manufacturer in business today in the United Kingdom. They hold the royal warrant, they provide the shoes for the king to this very day. So if they are in danger, what do we think about the other brands? Now, Tricker started by a chap called Joseph Tricker in 1829. And he set very high standards in the level of footwear which his company manufactured. And that standard is still adhered today because Trickers is still owned by the founding family. And each pair of shoes will spend typically 8 weeks in the manufacturing cycle. And each pair will have 260 individual processes undertaken upon them in the creation process. So they are of exceptional standard, very high quality. It is true to say they have something of a country styling. They're often quite, the ones which spring to my mind are quite brogued, they're quite rugged looking. And I think this is where they sort of exist within the world. Of course, they make city shoes equally just as good. And only the other day, I was walking down Jermyn Street in London and I glanced in through their flagship store and admired their shoes alongside all of the other brands which also have their flagship stores in that street. So, why am I concerned that Trickers may be leaving us? So the reason I'm having this conversation today is because, quite simply, the other day I was reading a newspaper here in the UK, and in the business section I was shocked to see the name of Trickers heading an article. And reading down through the article, this is what really pricked my interest. The article was about Trickers and their recent profit report which appeared in the paper, and actually they were also discussing why their company was in danger. Now, the danger came from that profit report in which the auditors had clearly stated, and I will quote, that there was a material uncertainty that Trickers' ability to continue as a company and as a going concern is in danger. In other words, they're not making any money. And the point of the article really was Trickers refuting the point that they can't sell enough shoes. It was more to do with the point that Britain's situation with Brexit, the global pandemic, all of these things had affected their profit margins and had certainly affected their viability as a dress shoe manufacturing company, which, as I say, a company which has been around that long really does make you, prick your ears up and pay attention. Now, when it comes to the profits, I can give you the numbers, and I have them here. And they are not great. The real crux of the article is that Trickers had a turnover last year of 5.7 million British pounds and a profit of only £20,000. The previous year, the company had a turnover of 4.5 million, but actually made a loss of more than £300,000. So you can see now why the auditors are concerned that this company may not be able to continue trading for much longer. And for us, I think what that means is that one of the most established, well-regarded shoe companies may well leave us within the next few years. So that led me to think, well, if Trickers, the oldest established shoe company in the land, can be in such danger, how can their contemporaries be faring as well? Because we all know up there in Northamptonshire, in the centre of the UK, in the middle of England, there are a great sort of clutch of the finest Goodyear welted shoemakers in the world. We all know their names, but how are they doing? So I did a bit of market research to try and get an idea of how dress shoes are faring in the world today. So the first thing I wanted to do is get an idea of how dress shoes are actually perceived in the market. And to do so, I went to a statistical market insight site called Statistica, which gives us an indication of the global shoe market and the shoe market here in the UK. So the UK shoe market generates around about £16 billion in 2023. So a vast amount of money, quite a lot actually. And that shows an annual growth of around about 4.15%. So 4.15% of growth. However, right, this is the point. In 2023, 89% of the UK shoe market is going to be non-luxury. And what that means is not dress shoes. It's going to be athletic shoes, leisure shoes, casual shoes. This is a really good indication of the way that people are choosing to spend their money and the clothing that they wear. And another very interesting fact which I saw was that the average volume of shoes by people in the UK, so that means the number of shoes which UK citizens own, is 4.5 per person. So that's 4.5 pairs of shoes per individual. Now, if that's the case, I have to say I've been pulling more than my fair weight when it comes to shoe ownership over the last generation, because I wouldn't like to tell you how many pairs of shoes I own, but it is considerably higher than 4.5 pairs for me. So quite an interesting amount. And these statistics lead us to think that this shift is really having an impact on the world's dress shoe market, particularly in the UK, which will be, I guess, a mirror of the global dress shoe world as well, because you know what happens here will be happening elsewhere, maybe on a slightly smaller scale, but it's happening everywhere as people shift in the way that they buy clothes and wear clothes. So I thought to myself, if Trickers, this most vaulted of brands, the company which makes shoes for the king himself, if they're in trouble, what are the other brands' situations? So I went looking. Companies House here in the UK, you can publicly access the annual reports of all of any limited company, and so I did on your behalf. And I can tell you how some of the other shoe brands are faring. So let us start with Crockett & Jones. Now they are one of the more famous shoe brands. They've been providing footwear for James Bond for quite a few years now. They do employ 367 staff, so they're a fairly big company and they are quite prolific. You will tend to see Crockett & Jones perhaps more so than some of the other brands I'm about to talk about. But to give you an idea, their turnover in the last reporting year, which they reported on, was £35 million. Profit margin from that, 4.5 million. So not bad actually, in reality. Crockett & Jones are doing well, and I would have expected that because they've got a higher profile. I think they've got more shops than other brands, and they, I think, exist at a slightly higher price point. You know, a typical pair of Crockett & Jones shoes, you'll be starting at £400 to £500 and going upwards. Not dissimilar to Trickers in price actually. They're around about the £500 and upwards as well, as many of the brands are I'm talking about here today. But Crockett & Jones, they're actually doing all right. They saw an increase over their previous year, but we could expect that because the pandemic had suppressed the shoe market for a few years, and now these companies are bouncing out of it. Cheney, my favourite brand, all right? I like Cheney because they make a great shoe at a very approachable price point, slightly lower than Crockett & Jones. I've been to the factory on a number of occasions. They've got a great factory store, over 100 folks working in that factory, and they make a fabulous product at a very good price, I think. Last year, their sales were up, but last year their turnover was £8.3 million. And their profit, and this is, when I say profit, I mean after tax. So this is what they're clearing at the end of the year. This is money in the pocket. So their total profit was £596,000. So 600,000 quid. It's not a huge amount, is it? You know, for a company employing hundreds of people. Barker. Now, I've been to their factory earlier this year. Barker, again, great shoe company. They make a very similar shoe actually to Tricker, to Cheney as well. Very traditional style, handmade in Northamptonshire, great quality shoes. Turnover was £9.7 million with a total after tax profit of only 190,000. So a really small profit margin there. You know, gives you an idea, doesn't it? It really is an interesting factor. Loke, much bigger company. They make much more, I would say, high volume footwear, and I would expect them to have a higher turnover than the others, and that they indeed do. Loke last year, turnover of 24.5 million, so still considerably below Crockett & Jones, 10 million below. Their total profit, 3.1 million, so a healthy profit there. Of course, they also have Indian companies, so they sort of got a foot in both camps, whereas the other brands, they tend to be British only. Loke have diversified, they've gone to different tiers of quality, and they manufacture internationally. Interestingly, the year before, Loke had only cleared £700,000 of profit, so a significant improvement over the previous year. Finally, Edward Green. Edward Green, a smaller volume of production, but a higher quality. Their price point will be up around £900 to £1,000, much more human involved manufacturing process. Their turnover last year, 5.7 million. Their profit, £370 million. So not huge sums of money. And what it really made me think was that I've always taken these companies for granted. I've always made the assumption that they're always going to be there, creating great quality footwear, magnificent British-made, Goodyear welted shoes, which will last a lifetime. That's actually may not be the case. It's interesting to note that Trickers themselves, 80% of the products which they manufacture are sent outside the UK to 70 different countries who are their principal buyers. So interesting to see how the buying experience is for people around the world. Many people buying British products, less so in this country. However, we can't take these companies for granted. They may not be with us within the next generation, which I think will be a crushing blow to the sartorial man, the intentionally well-dressed man. So what I would say to you is make the most of these brands right now. Enjoy them. Because we may witness in our lifetimes the death of the dress shoe as we know it today. And that row of shoes in your wardrobe, Crockett & Jones, Cheney, Loke, Trickers, Barker, Edward Green, those names may disappear within the next generation. Enjoy them, buy them, and make every day count. That's all I can say. There we go, bit of a different video today, bit of a conversation about the potential death of the dress shoe and what it may mean for us. If you have enjoyed the video, you can do me an honour by giving it a thumbs up. If you'd like to support the channel, you can subscribe for future content. You can leave me a comment in the comment section. You could buy me a coffee. You could drop me an email, or for about £3 a month, you can become a patron. And then you can benefit from the additional video content which I make exclusively for my patrons. So, until the next time, stride out in those classic British dress shoes today, because they may not be there forever. And I'll see you again very soon.